You know that feeling when your heart starts racing, your palms get a little warm, your breathing gets shallow, and you just feel on edge? Well, that's cortisol, stepping in to get you ready for a challenge. For thousands of years, that exact response is what kept us alive. But here's the thing. Today, the danger rarely ends, and so the response doesn't either. We're going to dive deep into this, because understanding this one hormone might just be the key to figuring out that persistent fatigue, that stubborn weight, and even your mood. And that's the big question, right? Why does rest never feel like it's enough? You get your sleep, you take a day off, but you still feel totally drained. The answer? It turns out, sits right at the very center of your hormonal system, and its name is cortisol. You've probably heard cortisol get a really bad rap. The stress hormone we're supposed to get rid of. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. To really get a handle on it, we need to see it for what it truly is. An ancient survival tool that was designed to protect you. And this, right here, is the heart of the matter. Cortisol isn't really about stress. Its main job is energy management. See, when your body senses a challenge, cortisol instantly mobilizes fuel. It releases sugar from your liver, fatty acids from your fat stores, and even amino acids from your muscles, all to give you that quick burst of energy you need to survive. Look, in short bursts, that alarm system is a lifesaver. It sharpens your focus, it boosts your ability to survive. The real problem starts when that alarm, which was only meant for a brief emergency, just stays on, day after day after day. Okay, so this is where the modern world really throws a wrench in the works. What happens when your body is stuck in this state of constant low-grade emergency? Well, the effects are subtle at first, but boy do they add up. First off, when cortisol stays high, your appetite ramps up. And we're not just talking about being a little hungry. Your body starts sending these powerful cravings for fast, high-energy foods. You know the ones, the salty, the sweet, the stuff that offers a quick fix for an emergency that never seems to end. Next up, your body flips a switch and goes into storage mode. High cortisol basically tells your body to store fat, and specifically around your abdomen. It's your body's way of thinking, hey, we're in a long-term crisis here. We better stockpile some energy for the long haul. But have you ever wondered where all this quick energy is coming from? Well, to get that fuel fast, cortisol actually pulls amino acids directly from your muscle tissue. Over time, this leads to a slow, gradual breakdown of muscle, which is a big reason why recovery can start to feel like it's never really complete. So when you put all these pieces together, the long-term picture gets pretty clear. Experts have linked this chronic high cortisol state to some major health issues. Big shifts in your mood, a weaker immune system, all sorts of metabolic problems, that deep in your bones kind of exhaustion, and of course, terrible sleep. But wait, the story goes even deeper than that. You see, cortisol doesn't operate in a vacuum. When it's chronically high, it creates this ripple effect, knocking other really important hormones completely out of balance. I want you to think of it like a seesaw. Cortisol is in its constant balancing act with other hormones, especially testosterone. So when cortisol is always elevated, testosterone levels tend to drop. It's a biological trade-off, really. Your body is diverting resources away from long-term projects like building muscle so it can focus on immediate survival. And that shift makes it so much easier to store fat and way harder to feel motivated and resilient. Okay, now this next part is absolutely wild. Get this. Even if your blood levels of cortisol look totally normal, there's an enzyme inside your abdominal fat cells that can take inactive cortisol and literally turn it back on, right there, locally. This creates a vicious cycle in the exact area most people struggle with, and it explains why some of us can eat less and exercise more, but see almost no change. So hearing all this, you might feel a little stuck, right? I mean, you can't just quit your job or escape all of life's responsibilities. That's why the solution isn't about eliminating stress. That's impossible. It's about learning to regulate your body's response to it. All right, so how do we actually do that? Let's walk through 4 foundational ways you can start to reset your system and get that crucial hormonal balance back on track. These are 4 really powerful signals you can send to your body. First, movement. And hey, this isn't about punishing workouts. It's just about using your muscles in a way that burns off that excess cortisol and tells your brain, hey, we escaped the danger. Second, hydration. Your body sees dehydration as a survival threat, and that alone can trigger cortisol. Staying hydrated keeps that system calm. Third, recovery. Just 60 seconds of deep breathing can interrupt that feedback loop of urgency. And finally, the most important one of all, sleep. And out of all of these, sleep might just be the king. Your cortisol is supposed to follow a natural daily rhythm. It should be high in the morning to get you up and going, and really low at night so you can rest. But poor sleep completely messes this pattern up, creating a nasty vicious cycle where high cortisol ruins your sleep, and then that lack of sleep raises your cortisol even more the next day. Okay, so we've talked about the physical stuff, but there's another layer to this. We can actually manage our cortisol response through our mindset. It's all about consciously sending your nervous system signals that you are safe. And this is such a powerful concept. Research shows that your stress response isn't just about what's happening to you, it's about whether you believe you can handle it. Just having a sense of control, predictability, or an outlet can dramatically lower the cortisol response to the exact same stressful event. The good news is, sending these signals doesn't require some massive life overhaul. It can be as simple as actually enjoying a meal without rushing it, or stepping outside for a few minutes of sun, listening to calming music, taking a warm bath, doing some gentle stretching, or just having a few moments of quiet reflection. Even these tiny moments of enjoyment can lower your cortisol in a measurable way. Look, if there is one single idea you walk away with today, I want it to be this one. Your body is not broken. It's not failing you. It is responding perfectly and exactly as it was designed to respond to the signals it's getting from your world. The bottom line is you're in the driver's seat. When you consciously change the signals you send through rest, through movement, through nourishment and recovery, your hormones will listen. They'll begin to shift back toward balance. And that's our key takeaway for this edition of Doc Notes.